Indian government has announced 33% reservation for women in parliament. I am a big follower, bhakt of Warren Buffett.
He has invested millions into reproductive health in the US and
Women will rule the investment world by 2028. Good evening and good morning, Monsoon, Pabrai. Ha, today's topic, what I have selected, may look little weird, but let us try to analyze. Ha, women will rule the investment world by 2028. So already I can see one female sitting in front of me, who is ruling the investment world in America. Am I correct?
it's soon, not now, but on the way, I hope.
Oh, yes. So in India, actually, Monsoon, so many things are happening regarding this women empowerment. Let me give you some glimpse of what is happening in India. One is that you must have heard, Indian government has announced 33% reservation for women in parliament. It is not effective as yet because there is some exercise of delimitation going on, but within 2-3 years, this will be effective. And uh, when we go for election in 2029, our parliament will look more gorgeous than at present, because 33% women, they are very big in number. And I believe that that will give encouragement and motivation to other women also, that uh, we are now heard of. We are now heard. And uh, second is, in elections which are going on, it will end on 1st June. Uh, uh, Now, women participation in election is more than men. That's why I have chosen the topic that by 2028, more than men. Huh. So now you can see everywhere, wherever you go, you see the influence of women in all the areas. Now, third is, Monsoon, political parties are now dependent on women more than the women dependent upon political parties. Mr. Narendra Modi and everyone wants to convince women, and they are offering few schemes also exclusively for women. Now, because of technology, Monsoon, things are easier to implement. In India, particularly, it is not that easy. I think sitting in America, you cannot visualize uh, what what is the uh, position of Indian women. So, sitting at home, they can operate. They can operate and they can invest any amount sitting at home. So that is also a very big game changer. When I started 30 years back, our forum called Millennium Mams, then things were different, because then when you have to buy shares, you have to issue check. Then the shares are delivered physically to you through brokers. Now everything is automated. I must give you an example. One of my yoga student, uh, sitting in remote area of Bangalore, uh, she wanted to put some money in fixed deposit. Within 5 minutes, she can do it. She doesn't have to that run around and ask the banker, etc. So because of the technology, the women participation has gone up like anything. And after COVID, people have earned very big money. I don't know about US, but people have earned big money in stock market. And there, women also participated in a big way, because 2 years nothing to do. So everyone was sitting in front of the computer and tried to understand and make up for the losses. And uh, I don't know whether you will understand this or not, but there is a suppression in India from centuries, not from this year, no, from decade or from centuries. There is suppression uh, for women. Uh, they were not allowed to do this. They were not allowed to do that. So that suppression is now helping women to come out because of the pent up desire to prove themselves. No, we are no way unequal to men, and that is also creating a big women empowerment program because of that pent up desire. So, and apart from that, I must tell you, and you also should share uh, what is the condition in US. Uh, Maybe it is totally different than India. Uh, uh, One of my student, Monsoon, although so many students they made their wealth creation big and easily, but one of my student I will not name her, but she is the biggest investor in Kolkata.
Oh,
She
nice.
is the number one investor in Kolkata, and she started as a very simple housewife, very simple housewife. But she had that maybe pent up desire that I have to prove myself, and she could prove. So this is how women participation in investment is increasing, and in my opinion, in the next 4 to 5 years, and that's why I have chosen 2028 to provoke the Indian women more. Ki Indian women investor will dominate the investment world.
By 2028, yes. I love that. I just want to first say thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Um, yeah, and the conversation Guy and I had was I've heard of Millennium Mans and I've seen your organization around and the ladies in Omaha. And that call that we did, I was most impressed with the women that were part of Millennium Mams and their questions and their participation. So I think, first of all, the organization is fantastic. And if there's anything to do with women doing well in investing in 2020 by 2028, I have to very heavily be credited to the organization, in my opinion. So yeah, I think that the quote that I wrote down some things you mentioned, but the I think the 33% representation for women in parliament is vital. As I guess I don't know where it starts. I've been asked this so many times, where do women feel discouraged? Where does it happen? And growing up, there were many times when men would say certain things, either when I was a small, young girl, 12, 13 years old, 8 years old, even 25 years old. Even now, I'm told certain things. And so I think society is number one, is the first problem. But I think for women, seeing other women do well is number one. Like if you see someone who walks like you, talks like you, looks like you in a position of power, making material change, there's nothing there's no way that can't not help the next generation. So I think absolutely, I think the Indian government requiring 33% representation in parliament is very important. And I think yeah, and women vote more, we're more engaged in the economy of the family. Even in the US, like between my friends, my female peers and my male peers, my female peers, we earn a little bit less than our male peers. That's documented like fact. But
Mhm.
their retirement accounts are bigger. They're saving more, they're planning for their future better, they're investing in smarter and better schemes. They're more likely to index fund invest than their male peers. So I see that in the US already. In
Mhm.
India, we're actually seeing a huge growth in the number of brokerage accounts in the
Yes.
market. And I think before COVID, it was 40 million accounts. In 18 months, it was 100 million accounts. It's over 150 million brokerage accounts. I'm sure women are actively participating in that number. I wish I had the breakdown, but we don't know what it is. And I think, the the technology and the democracy of like they're democratizing finance and zero to grow. It's making it so easy to invest. And it will benefit the people who typically were the ones to invest in the home, the man. But it serves the underserved community so well because it reduces the barrier perfectly. And it's the best part about technology and the world we live in today. And I think about my nani, and my mom and dad were both born in Mumbai.
Okay.
And my nani, she's Sindhi, and her family immigrated from Karachi to Mumbai in 1946, right before partition. And her dad did not want her to study past high school. And she was born maybe 15 years after Buffett. And that was the tradition. Women would not study past a certain age. And so my nanny worked in a glucose factory, make like secretly packaging biscuits, and went to school at night secretly. And her mother hid it from the father. And so that was the trend, 70, 80 years ago. That was very normal. It was scandalous that she was going to school and trying to educate herself. She ended up working in a bank. Between her and her husband, my nana, she was the one who really set that family up financially, made the savings, protected, made sure that my mom and her brother came to the US for their studies. And I see it even in the way my mom raised me. I have a great dad, and he's an incredible investor, but my mom is the one who really instilled a sense of confidence. If I came home crying from school, she would, ask why and then say, that's not something you should cry about. Be much stronger than to let something so, so small affect you that way. And she really made sure my sister and I are both the strongest women that we are. And it doesn't stop for women because it's so easy for us to become timid and shy. And even now I have to push myself to go do public speaking courses and practice my confidence and push myself further because there's no limit to a woman's confidence. There may be a limit
Right.
to a man's confidence, but for a woman, I think, it's so typical for a man to be overconfident in his ability with less skill. But a woman of the same skill or more skill would probably have less belief in herself, just speaking very frankly. And yeah, I think it's an interesting problem. And I think on your topic of will women rule the world, investing world by 2028, they will in the home. So something that I see with my business and my clients is my investors who are over, 45 or 50. If I have a call about investing, one partner will show up in the relationship. And sometimes it's the woman, but most of the time it's the man. But if the couple is, 45 or younger, on every single call, both of them are present. The financial decisions of the house of my American clients are, whether they're 10, 15 years older than me, even 20 years older than me, they're both involved in where the assets go and everything. It's mostly because life is so expensive in the US, women have to work, and so they're just more involved in the decisions. I just hope men do more of the homework, the housework without being asked. I can wake up and take out the trash. Um, you know, and so it's becoming more of a 50-50 partnership. Um, but in the way of finances and child rearing and things of that nature, but it's I think men have to do their part in the home to encourage their wives and their daughters to just be confident and follow their passions and work hard and try things out and take a chance on themselves. Yeah.
So, Monsoon, I remember Charlie Munger always said that one of the main quality you need is in share investment, patience.
Yes. Patience.
And you must be knowing better than women have to maintain the patience. Otherwise, they
Yes.
cannot run the house. Na?
Yes. It's for their
So,
sanity. Yes.
what I found that uh, many of my students, they are very successful in share investment because of this one quality, that is patience.
Hmm.
कि ठीक है, let us see, this will pass ultimately. Charlie Munger said ना कि it is more of a psychology than of intellect. So
Yes.
patience is one of the quality where we male member lacks and
Yes.
they excel.
Yeah.
And second, Monsoon, please correct me where I'm wrong. Women are more disciplined because otherwise they can't run house, then go for job and manage their kids and manage their wealth. So they are more disciplined. Huh. Only they should be convinced that ultimately, if you give 1 or 2 hours daily, for your own wealth creation, if they are convinced, then they will do much better than we male members.
Yes.
And third point, what I found quality is focus. Focus. Although they are multitasker, unfortunately, huh, but still, if they find value somewhere, they are focused. They
Yes.
are focused. So if you are focused, then definitely 50% of the battle is won. And in India, Monsoon, uh, I don't know whether you will be able to relate. Huh. Uh, Education was a bigger problem 20 years back. Huh. Educated women and educated men, percentage were totally different in favor of men. But at present, girls are doing much better than boys. I don't know what is happening in America, but in India, girls are doing in management, in chartered accountancy, everywhere, they are doing much better than boys. Only problem may come that after they complete their masters, etc., and before they get married, they have got a very small window where they do the job, and all of a sudden, uh, they find that they are getting married, and after marriage, the whole scenario changes. What about this particular problem in America?
It's it's definitely still a problem in the US. I
Mhm.
think I what I used to see in India is if a girl was 24, 25 and her marriage had been arranged after she got married or after she had the first kid, there's a there's a chance, pretty high chance that she just stops working altogether. And in the US, um, I would say some stop working, but for the most part they keep working because they've
Mhm.
been fed this dream that they can have it all. They can be mothers, they can have a career. But Indra Nooyi, the Pepsi ex-CEO, she has a very nice quote, and she goes into a lot of detail on how the biological clock and the career clock are in direct conflict with each other. And and I see it. I'm 28 years old. I see it amongst my friends. My female friends and my male friends are in the point in their career where they have to put in more hours to get the promotion because the barrier, so it's moving, it's higher and further, and they want that. They want to do better, they want to earn more, they want to make meaningful change in their positions. But they also know the men don't worry about this because they can push off marriage. Or at least they think so, like maybe 5, 10 years. But the women, they're 28, 29, they're thinking, I really have 6, 7, 8 years to get all this under control on the birthing of children part because I do want children, but I also want to keep working. And so they're working hours, and then they're breastfeeding at home and they're trying to sleep. And because like nursing and help is so expensive, they're doing a lot of it by themselves. They're lucky if they can get a night nurse or like if family can come and help. But I think in the US, I see a lot of women struggle with that problem. That what I really appreciate in the American woman is she's more willing to endure those painful years so that she doesn't miss out on leaving the workforce. Because once you leave the workforce and you come back, 5, 6 years later, you come at a lower position, lower pay, you're again working it through. And I'm not at that, I'm not at that age group where I've seen that yet, but um it's a huge problem. And I don't know what the solution is there. I'm and I really I don't know. And in the US, if you're pregnant, you go on maternity leave, like 3 months is all you get. And you can do like in some states that are more liberal, you can get another 3 months of half pay on disability leave, but it's pretty hard to make it work. Whereas the Norwegian countries and the Swedish countries, they have like a year, they have a year of maternity leave. And I think that's much better. This is a huge problem. And I don't know how to address it. And it could very well be, you either give women that break and you welcome them back to those positions in open arms 4 or 5 years later. I don't know. We don't, but these issues are tough. And I think there's a nice quote, the social sciences are more difficult than the physical sciences. It's easier to put a man on the moon than to solve homelessness and these kinds of problems. So it's going to be an ongoing problem. And I think it starts with just I don't know. I think it starts first with societal change, mental change. And I'm noticing a trend, but I'm also, I've been told a few years ago, like someone who has in my community and like, an uncle, um, just asked me, how does someone take you seriously? I'm like, okay, that's like, that's, it gets asked. And, I don't think he was asking in a way to put me down. I think he was asking how does that happen? And he has a daughter of his own. And, it's just, this will be an ongoing problem. And I think the one thing I love about investing is I can do it from home. I can envision myself having a
Yes.
family, running my business with the full freedom. And I think I'm in a position where I can run my business, scale my career, and have a family and, have it all, like in the Nui says. But she goes into a lot of detail on how her assistant would talk to her kids about TV time after they'd finished the homework. And she had put all these special instructions in place because she still had to be a mother, she still had to mother her kids. And so it's definitely a very complicated problem. And I don't think anyone has a solution to it right now.
But you should sell this idea, which we read in Rich Dad Poor Dad book. Huh.
Yes.
When money works for you, then you are wealthy, na?
Mm.
Like say, if I buy shares, and that is Buffett. If I buy share of a company, actually what is happening? Somebody is working for me. You
Yes.
buy this. You buy this idea.
I completely agree with it. If I check my stocks frequently enough, but I don't obsess over it where I'm checking it all day. And so I really think, the most capital is made when I'm sleeping. It's partially because I have some Indian equities and they're trading while I'm asleep. But um, yeah, I think investing is a brilliant career for a woman. And it doesn't need to be at a crazy large scale. It can be taking the family assets, putting in the market, managing the index funds, making sure there's enough cash to pay for whatever needs we have. And then excess cash is put to work in the proper vehicles, setting up um, accounts for each children once they're born, managing those, putting, 50, 100, $200 a month into those accounts and just ensuring the future of the household. I think the other good investment vehicle for women is actually real estate because you collect rent checks, you're doing an operational job, it's very multitasking forward, and and I think real assets are easier to understand for more people. And there's a family member I have. She passed away, but her husband was in the Air Force and he had passed away, so she was widowed with two sons. She was on a teacher's salary and would buy the cheapest fruit. She was in Delhi, the cheapest fruit at the grocery store. She would manage the capital very carefully and slowly she would buy one property in Defense Colony and slowly growing it. And people in my family made fun of her for being so cheap and preserving capital, but her assets today are astronomically larger than, most of the people that made fun of her. And I think women have a survival instinct, a long-term instinct, a patient, disciplined, focused. They believe in, they can take a simple idea and take it very seriously and devote, I mean, a man can too, but I just noticed that women really care for their children to have everything that maybe they didn't have and will put their last blood, sweat, and tear into it. And they're very selfless in that way. And so, yeah, I think another great investment is, being a real estate owner, especially in India with these booming markets and, owning a flat, buying another flat, growing that, and then, maybe getting a commercial property, going in with another female family member and scaling that. But I think investing, because it's so long term and you can do less than 20 hours a week with a kid and manage it
Uh,
and have
uh,
a very productive career. I think it's exceptional for women. Yes.
I really don't know why I'm not able to sell this idea to all the women in India. Ki do nothing now. There was a book I was reading. Do nothing. It was uh, from some American lady. So actually, what is happening now in American system? Please correct me if I'm wrong. In American system has taught the whole world that you work hard and you earn more. Huh.
Yes.
Whereas Bhagavad Gita and other spiritual book, they suggest that you work less and earn more.
Yes.
So
Yes.
you are in which bracket?
I would say I'm unfortunately in the work hard, earn more in that factor, but I'm relaxed, I'm patient. I think I know what the goal for my fund and the business is, and I'm just very committed to that, and I'm good at ignoring the noise of the other influences, but I work hard. I do work hard. And I think in a way to make sure I'm not spending too much time on investing, I definitely have other hobbies that I'm itching to do better at. And it's hiking, it's Pilates, it's working out, it's reading. There's many things we can use to distract ourselves. But I think I'm in the American camp of
Work.
hard work. But I have friends, I have many friends, and they're actually most of them I'd say are men. They are very much in the camp of work as little as possible and earn as much as you can. So I think both ideologies are there. I think it's just what you subscribe to. But yeah, I think investing works very well with you don't have to put too much effort in and you can have great results. Yeah.
I was talking with chairman of a big company, uh, and I took his permission that he should not mind what I'm talking. Uh, I told him that Mr. So and so, you are working for me. So he was shocked, "Mother, what are you talking about?" And I am the co-owner in your company. The difference is you are working, I'm not. But
Yes.
whatever profit comes, I also share to the
Yes.
extent I've invested. So it is so simple. And
Yes.
at least mm, I believe that Monsoon should change her mind from work hard to work less.
Yes.
I tell you, you must have read that book, 80-20 Principle.
I have not. It's on my list, but I will read it.
No, no, you must read now. Uh, that book says that you don't need to work very hard or work hard. Like say, Monsoon, I am really privileged that I have understood this game. I
Hmm.
have understood this game. Ki I am not working hard at all. I am working for 3, 4, 5 hours, and with God's grace, I am earning big money.
I love that. No, I think if you are like, in a position where you can work less and make incredible money and take care of your family, that's very important. I think at least for me right now, just being a young woman, and I think just given the opportunity to be able to run the fund, I want to give it my all. And so I think the amount of my day that's spent on investing is about, 60, 70%. So I would say if I'm just investing, then it's not all the time, but the other time spent on, admin, like legal, making sure things are running fine, talking to investors, that actually takes up more energy because it's more involved, and there's a little bit of a convincing nature that has to sometimes go on. So I think in the entrepreneur side of the business, it ends up being a work hard story, but I actually need to get an assistant, and then I can work less and make more because I'm having a hard time keeping up with my email. I will take it. I will definitely take it where I won't stress myself out too much. Yeah.
I
Uh,
remember when we invited Mr. Pabrai in Omaha, he said that hardly I look at my mails, uh, and I sit in my office only relaxed
right.
and reading. And the
Yes.
same thing is with Mr. Warren Buffett, same thing is with Mr. Charlie Munger. Because, ultimately, Monsoon, what I believe that if I enjoy reading, I'm not working hard.
Yes. Yeah, yeah,
If
yeah.
I
I would say all the investing stuff feels very nice and easy. It's very fun and very stimulating. Yes.
Exactly,
It's
because when you are enjoying doing something, you are not working hard. But if you just forget about the time, I met one lady, one of my students' daughter in San Francisco. Huh, I asked her, ki, what is your routine? But there is no routine. I work up to 2 o'clock in the morning. Huh, this, that. So that was showing on her face. Tired, tired. Huh. Yeah. So this theory is so simple, and that's why ultimately I am a big follower, bhakt of Warren Buffett.
Mm,
Uh, because I cannot work hard. Buffett does not work hard. Uh, he was leading his comfortable life, uh, 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 drinking that big glass of milkshake. Uh, so actually, what I am doing, and I suggest also that to earn money, this is a myth actually that you have to work hard. You work, and along with that, you invest. Like
yes.
say, if you are earning, say, uh, 10 lakh rupees in Indian currency, huh, that then give some quality time to invest that 10 lakh rupees somewhere. Then
Yeah.
what is happening that your earning continues and your earning from investment continues. Most of the people, Monsoon, in India, uh, they don't give any time for their investment. I don't know why they're working then.
So yeah, yeah, I think Indians really like their fixed deposits, their gold.
No,
They
no.
like very
Now,
steady.
now because of Millennium Mams, things are
Yeah,
changing. Things are
good,
changing.
very good, very
Yes,
good.
because uh, how can you invest in fixed deposit where you get 6% after tax return maximum?
Yeah,
And in inflation in India is more than 6%. So bottom line, and that what is my Monsoon mission in life.
yes,
That was is my mission in life. That a woman must have financial literacy.
yeah, absolutely.
It is
Yeah.
not that you have got an MBA degree or chartered accounting degree. It will not help. Financial literacy, and that's what we are propagating in Millennium Map. Then you become financially independent.
Hmm.
Huh. You want to, after marriage, you want to roam about in India and want to spend 10 lakh rupees in that travel. You don't need to ask your husband, no?
Yes.
Financial independent. Whatever I want, I will do. And that is Monsoon real women empowerment. Because
Absolutely.
ultimately, everyone talks about women empowerment, but ultimately, without financial independency, huh, how can that women have real empowerment? And
Absolutely.
one of my student, Monsoon, she shared with me that my gradation in my family has gone up.
Yes. Absolutely. Yes. I think for too long, women were just, cleaning and doing the cooking, no, and that was going on so they wouldn't get educated and that was their role. And then, maybe 30, 40 years ago, they did start getting educated. And then that's still their role, then they're supposed to, after marriage, come home and do that and just, like raise the children and then what? And and now I think it's still somewhat the case that, like, we're still the caretakers of the home. We're still supposed to be the primary cooks in the home. And, sometimes we earn more than
Oh,
our,
yeah.
male counterparts, and we're still expected to come home and do all the cooking and all the cleaning and make sure the kids do all their homework and then take care of the in-laws, take care of our parents. And it's too much. It's too much of a burden. And that's across the globe. That's a problem. And the growing up, I was able to date from as a teenager, but no, like 18. And the men I went on dates with, the ones that were most respectful to me were the ones who were raised by women who worked or single moms. They had the most positive view of all women out of anyone. And it's because they saw what their mom did all on their own,
Exactly.
and it changed their entire view. So I think so much of the view that society has on women, that women have on women, that men have on women, and that children have on their mothers starts at home with the woman carrying, like, the financial weight of like playing a very heavy part in that role. And, too many times, even you don't know how many of my friends earned so much money in the US and are, in my opinion, financially illiterate. And that's all I work on with them. This is index fund investing. You should keep your
You
cash
should
here.
you should ask
These
them to join. You should ask them to
Millennium
join
Mams, yes,
Millennium
absolutely.
Mams.
Absolutely. No, and financial literacy, it's a problem with all underserved communities. And women have been treated like second-class citizens for far too long. And in many parts of the world, they still are. I mean, too many parts of the world. And the more than any more, I mean, I think number one is education. And then right there next to it is financial literacy. Because if a woman cannot walk out of the house and stand on her own 2 feet, she is not free. That
You're
is
right.
just that's the case. If you're bound to the family's finances, the house, it used to be your father, your brother, your husband, whoever it was. Then it sometimes becomes even your sons. If you're like widowed, you're sometimes still dependent on your son. That's ridiculous. And it's and I and I
You-
and I'm and I'm seeing the change in the US. I think it's been happening maybe 2 decades. I think I see that shift happen in the ages, and I think it's happening now in India, but it has to continue with much force for it to sustain. But yeah, I think the number of Fortune 500 companies with female CEOs last year was 8%, and this year it crossed 10%. So
no,
we're,
yes.
and it's consistent. You have to actively make the choice of, if you have a woman and a male of equal talent, you do actually have to give the preference to the female to push that message further so that young girls see that and then they grow up, feeling inspired. Because I think for so long, and there's so few female investors I've seen managing funds, but the few that I have met have been extremely encouraging of me, which I'm so grateful for. Because I mean, even after this, I'm gonna go have lunch with the female manager. We're gonna talk about a couple stocks just to compare notes, and she's just very kind to me and very welcoming, and it's
No,
and she's trying, and she talks about it. She's like, I didn't have anyone that was female helping me out, so she's really doing her part. But it continues with each generation pushing
no.
very hard.
So
Yeah.
finally, Monsoon, why I selected 2028? Because our next general election in India will be happening in 2029. So I am making my base that Modi is coming back in 2024. If that doesn't happen, then God saves us. But if that happens, then in the next 5 years, the real growth story of India will unfurl, real
Yeah.
growth story. And that is huge. That is huge. You cannot believe what will happen in the next 4 to 5 years. And there, as Buffett said, that I don't have the competition from 50% of the population.
Yes. He says, yes, he's very positive on women. And it really was when he was much older, where he was much more vocal about it. But he also insisted on almost like a quota. He used to have business students come to his office, and he insisted 1/3 were female at the minimum. He's like, do not show up to my office.
Wow,
And I
wow.
think, and he started pushing that maybe in the mid 2000s. I think now he doesn't have business students visit anymore, but there was a female pitch competition 2019 when the Millennium Mams visited, and he came for like 15, 20 minutes to that event to be encouraging of women. And he's very pro-woman. He also believes that, like, he understands the biological clock is in conflict with the career clock. So he has invested millions into reproductive health in the US and pushing women to be able to have kids later for a period of time. The other thing we've seen is, I think Apple and one other company, maybe it's Google, they, in their insurance policies, would pay for egg freezing for their women
Mhm.
staff, because they
And
felt this problem was very
uh,
serious. And so they said, we'll pay the 10, 15,000 for you to freeze your eggs. We'll pay the annual fees to pay the storage costs so that you can work 10 more years and work hard on your career and push the child rearing out without
uh,
any guilt. Yeah.
and can you imagine, Monsoon, that 50% of the population in India, if they start contributing to the GDP, what will happen to this country?
Would it would be tremendous growth.
Yes, and
Absolute tremendous growth, yes.
that I can tell you that it will happen. May not be in 2028, but it is happening, and it is happening very fast. So whenever you come to India, take interviews.
Absolutely.
Huh? And
I will absolutely take them, yes.
so nice talking with you, and thanks a lot that you spare your valuable time for this podcast. Huh?
Yeah. Thank you,
Okay.
Bishnu. Yes.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mhm.
We think that
Yes.
was good? Yes.
Yes.
That
Yes.
was fantastic. Thank you so much. It was
I love it.
fascinating to hear both of
Yes.
y'all. Like, y'all, I mean, it was so beautifully articulated, all the pointers y'all spoke about. It's going to be a real amazing podcast for all to hear. Thank you so much, Monsoon and Sir, for doing this and giving us your valuable time. All our members are really going to benefit. I mean, everyone, whoever hears this.
I'm very excited. But Vishnu, what you've done for women, I think being a man, starting this organization, what, in the 90s? Long
Yes.
time. I
30,
think
30,
you
30 years back.
you've been ahead. You've been pushing. You've been pushing before Buffett himself was very vocal about women. And I think Indian women are so bright and so capable. So I think it's just the best thing that you've done to enable them to just be active
Uh,
players.
I'm
Yeah.
lucky that God has given me this job, and this is my mission. This is
Yes.
my mission. I don't have any mission, and I'm earning as it is sitting at home or office. So I don't
Yes. It's the
need to.
best life. It's the best life.
Yes,
Yes.
yes, yes, yes. Huh? Chalo. Okay.
Chalo.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you
Bye.
so
you.
much. Monsoon, if you could just share your handles on which we can collaborate, like, if you could just
Yeah.
send me an email or WhatsApp, anything that suits you, then
I'll link
whenever
you.
this is ready, we will tag you on it accordingly.
Perfect. Yes. I'll send
Okay.
everything.
Thank you. And look
Bye,
forward to
Monsoon.
meeting you in February in India.
Yeah. I'll do all three. We'll plan for with
Brilliant.
all the ladies.
That'll be
Yes.
fantastic. Thank you so
Perfect.
much. And please give our regards to Mr. Manish Pabrai.
I
We,
did.
we
Yes,
always
yes.
we remember him very fondly.
Good. I will. I will.
Thank
Thank
Okay,
you.
you.
Monsoon.
Okay.
Bye.